Hello everyone. So we are preparing for your exams and we have already made a video in which we have completed all the HEMAT practicals. Now the turn is of human experiments. Fine. So we are starting with the cardiovascular one. Fine. So here we'll be talking about in cardiovascular system which human experiments we dealt with in physiology practical exam. Okay. So let's see the Viva questions there. Okay. So in Viva questions you can be asked about pulse. Fine. So what is pulse? It's the regular expansion of an artery caused by ejection of blood into arterial tree by contraction of heart. So during systole or during diastole, the expansion and recoil of aorta is basically giving us pulse. Pulse waveform, you can be asked what are the different waveform of pulse as shown in the image. So percussion wave, tidal wave and dacrotic notch or dacrotic wave, you can be asked this. So percussion wave it's the sharp upstroke due to expansion of artery. This one is the percussion wave. This is because of the systole or because of the ejection phase, right? Then is a tidal wave. As you can see, this is the pre-dacrotic wave due to elasticity of aorta as the aorta expand during systole. And dacrotic notch and wave on descending limb. The notch, as you can see, this is the notch and then there is a backward flow. As you can see, the positive deflection, so backward flow is there. So the negative wave is due to recoil of aorta. Because of that recoil, there is a gain flow. Fine. So this is pulse and pulse wave. Now most importantly, you should be knowing how to calculate pulse, which fingers to be used. So this you have to know. So index finger we used, which is toward heart. It varies the pressure of artery. Middle finger, we feel the pulse. Distal finger, it prevents the reflection of pulsation from palmar arches. Okay. Then you have to count pulse for 1 minute. The normal pulse rate you should know 60 to 100 beats per minute. Bradycardia is when we have less than 60 beats. Tachycardia when we have more than 100 beats per minute. Okay. And you can be asked what are different conditions of this tachycardia and bradycardia. So tachycardia can occur in emotional excitement, nervousness, apprehension. Okay. For example, we have interview, we have tachycardia. Okay. Muscle exercises in newborn, in females, and in evening also we have tachycardia. In fever or thyrotoxicosis, we have tachycardia. On the other hand, bradycardia, in athletes, the pulse rate is low. During sleep, we have less pulse rate. Okay. In myxedema, heart block and general weakness, we have bradycardia. These are some type of pulse. Just for a quick review, you can be asked about the abnormal pulses. So just to show you the morphology, it's just a summary slide. Pulses alternance. So one high amplitude, one low amplitude, alternance. So they are alternating high and low amplitude found in LVF, left ventricle failure. You don't need to learn these terminologies, just to see the abnormal waveform and their shape so that you can remind them. So pulses paradoxes means these are basically in inspiration and in expiration, the alternate low amplitude and high amplitude pulses. So this is the inspiration when we have high pulse rate. Then expiration, we have high amplitude pulse rate. Okay. So low amplitude during inspiration and high amplitude during expiration. Pulses bigeminous. This is also again, so one high amplitude, low amplitude, then we have a gap between that. Pulses bispharynx. Bispharynx means during systole, we have two peaks here. Okay. So during systole wave, during the large wave is basically divided into two waveform making just M shape. So this is pulses bispharynx. Water hammer pulse. As you can see, there is sudden upstroke, sudden downstroke. Normal pulse is not like this. So this is water hammer. Pulses parvus et tardus means the amplitude is less and the speed is slow. Okay. Dacrotic pulse is again having sound in systole and diastole both. Okay. So the most important pulse among that are alternance, paradoxes and water hammer pulse, most frequently asked. Then coming to blood pressure. What is blood pressure? The pressure exerted by column of blood against the wall of your arteries. This is very important. You should know the definition. Okay. It's measured by sphygmomanometer. What is systolic BP? So during systole phase, the pressure exerted on arteries wall. So when heart pushes, during systole, the blood is ejected out and the pressure exerted by that blood during systole phase on wall of artery is systolic BP. And the normal value is around 100 to 140 mmHg. Okay, systolic BP is basically affecting the resistance. It's affected by the resistance of arterioles. So as the arteriole constrict, systolic BP rise. Okay, and second thing is the myocardium. How much force of contraction is there? So these two decides the systolic BP. Diastolic BP, during diastole phase, the pressure between two heartbeat. The resting phase blood pressure is basically diastolic BP. Normal values is 660 to 90 mmHg, and it's basically which decide diastolic BP. It's the venous return and total blood volume. Okay, higher the venous return, higher is the filling of heart, or higher is diastolic BP. Okay, pulse pressure is basically the difference between two. Systolic minus diastolic BP is pulse pressure. You can be asked what is mean arterial pressure. So the formula is the pulse pressure divided by 3 plus diastolic pressure gives you mean arterial pressure. Okay, this is the main stimulus for all our reflexes. Then measurement part, blood pressure is measured either invasively like in intraoperative setting. So we basically insert cannula directly into artery, so that is invasive. Non-invasive methods we dealt in physiology practical. So non-invasive are the palpatory and auscultatory methods. With palpatory, we can't actually assess the diastolic value. Okay, we just palpate via our finger on the artery and we basically inflate the cuff, and that method is basically palpatory method. Auscultatory with stethoscope we are doing. Okay, then the part of BP apparatus we should be knowing which one is manometer, graduated tube, Rivarossi cuff. Okay, the normal Rivarossi cuff, this is also a major question. What are the measurement of Rivarossi cuff? Okay, so the normal adult measurement is 24 into 12 centimeter. Okay, the width of this Rivarossi cuff keeps on changing as per the age. For infants below 1 year, it's about 2.5 centimeter. Below 4 years, it's 5 centimeter. Below 8 years, 8 centimeter. And for adults, it's 12 centimeter. Okay, these are two BP apparatus you can see. This is the mercury manometer and this is aneroid one. Aneroid sphygmomanometer. Then one more question which is very important is auscultatory gap. As the mercury is lowered, few faint sounds are heard which soon disappear only to reappear once again. So this is auscultatory gap. It can range from 40 mmHg to 60 mmHg. And to avoid this auscultatory gap, you can be asked which method should be done first. So we have to, first of all, we have to calculate the systolic value via palpatory method, then go for auscultatory method. This way we can avoid auscultatory gap. Okay. You can be asked what are Korotkov sound. So Korotkov 5 sounds are there. You can see this as we release the pressure. Basically we have first silence. Then as we release the pressure, basically there is sharp tapping sound. Then we have a swishing sound, very soft sound you will see. Then we have a knock sound, knock or banging sound that is called. And then we have a faint sound. And then again silence. These 5 are basically Korotkov sound. You can be asked in Viva. Then comes his other practical, which is effect of posture on blood pressure. So change of posture can lead to various alteration in systolic and diastolic pressure values. Why? So this practical is basically causing baroreceptor reflex sensitivity. So here you have to see that in lying down posture, you just sit and then sudden standing. So what are the changes in cardiovascular system? Okay. So first of all, you will be asked what are changes in posture change. When you change the posture, what are changes in the BP? Okay. So the major mechanism we are focusing here is lying to standing. So on standing, there is venous pulling because of the gravity. Okay. So because of that, there is fall in systolic BP on standing. The cause is venous pulling leads to fall in BP, leads to increase in heart rate and diastolic BP. Okay. So because of venous pulling, we have decrease blood pressure. So systolic pressure fall, you should know. Then rise of diastolic BP can be because of on standing there is increased peripheral resistance. The anti-gravity muscles, they contract. Because of that, venous return increases, and which as diastolic BP depends on venous return. So venous return increase, diastolic BP increase. Okay, so these two changes you should be knowing. As you can see here, so if you get this practical, you should be knowing the baroreceptor reflex. So as the arterial pressure fall on standing, the baroreceptor firing decreases. Okay, because of that, there is increased sympathetic activity and decreased vagal activity, which lead to increased venous return and increased cardiac output, hence increases the pressure. So baroreceptor reflex you should be knowing here in this practical. Coming to next practical, effect of exercise on blood pressure. Okay, so in this practical you will be doing exercise, and just after exercise you will be measuring the blood pressure value and compare that with the baseline values. Here we are not talking about the practicals because here we are just preparing for exams. So we need very less time to be revised for all this revision part. So here we'll be talking about only the Viva questions. So in effect of exercise, what we'll be discussing is what are changes of exercise. First of all, so there will be heart rate change. There will be increase in heart rate. It can rise 180 to 200 beats per minute. Cardiac output, it can increase to 25 liter per minute. Normal is 5 liter. Systolic blood pressure increases and diastolic blood pressure may remain the same. Okay, and increase a little, and there is the major changes, there is increased blood flow to skeletal muscles. Okay, so these are very brief changes of muscle exercise. If you want to know about any practical, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see the respective practical also, the procedure part, the mechanism part. Okay, but here the most important Viva question is what is MET? Metabolic equivalence is the ratio of rate of energy expended during an activity to the rate of energy expended at rest. So why MET is important? Because MET is used to basically categorize the exercises, grade the exercises. But here in our lab, what we did is, normally as per heart rate change, this grading of exercise is done. Because the practical is basically effect of moderate exercise. So you should be knowing how the exercise are basically graded. Okay, so as per heart rate change, these are graded. Fine. So light exercises when you have heart rate less than 100. Moderate exercises when you have heart rate 100 to 125. Heavy exercises 125 to 150, and severe exercises more than 150. So will not be performing in lab heavy and severe one. Okay, so only light and moderate will be performing. So the mechanism part is, you should be knowing that during exercise there is increased sympathetic activity which lead to increase in heart rate, respiratory rate, BP and cardiac output, and local metabolites and increased sympathetic vasodilator activity which lead to increased muscle blood flow. Okay, so these are the mechanism which you should be knowing during Viva. Then the last is ECG. So in practical, in sporting part, you can get a ECG. So just brief introduction about ECG, that you should be knowing the P, Q, R, S and T waveforms. Okay, so the P wave, QRS complex and T wave. You should be knowing these normal values. Okay, so when we record ECG, we have X and Y axis. In Y axis, we have amplitude. Okay, so these amplitude, this one. So 0 to 2 is basically 1 millivolt. Fine. So this is the amplitude. So one box is 0.1 millivolt. And if we see x-axis, so 25 small square gives you 1 second. Speed is 25 mm per second. So this way we know that this from here to here you have a large box. Okay. So 25 small boxes. This one large box is having 5 small boxes. So 25 small boxes makes 1 second. Fine. So in 1 minute we have 1500 small square. You should be knowing. So this small square, as you can see, this small square, this is the small square, and 1500 small square makes 1 minute. So how you'll calculate the heart rate? This is a question. You can be given in sport 1 ECG, in sporting part. So you have to just calculate the 1 RR interval. You have to calculate number of boxes from 1 R interval 2 second, and you have to just calculate in this formula. 1500 divided by RR interval in number of small square between these two R wave. Okay. So here as per this is 1500 divided by 23 gives you 65 beats per minute. Okay. So that's all about the cardiovascular physiology questions. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like my video.